All right, all right. We are live on video. Travis, stand by for audio. All right, good day and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Live the Fuel show. So this evening, we are catching back up with a return co-host. Not just a return co-host, but actually one of our newer repeat returning co-hosts that we try and get on every single month because he's got a different lifestyle. He's got a different coaching influence. He plays with cold things, but he's also big into mindset. And more specifically, which we'll talk a little bit about tonight, is how he helps men claim their self-mastery and vitality. So if you've listened to the show before, he's been on a couple times before. Welcome back to the show, Travis Roznos.
Hey, Scott.
How you been, brother?
I've been doing good. Settled back into some routine.
A little bit of routine?
Yeah, a lot of travel. So finally catching a groove back here in Austin, Texas.
Well, I know we follow you. I mean, I follow you. You know, I try and follow my co-hosts, and you get around, my friend. And the interesting thing is, I know you and I have been talking last time. We wanted to get deeper into minimalism, and I'm intrigued on this minimalism topic because I travel a lot, and I like traveling lean and mean. And since I've been following you all over Instagram, I'd love to catch our audience up with like, okay, you've had a lot of trips. Do you also travel lean and mean?
Yeah, I usually pack for like 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
And then I'll find ways to turn that into 10 days if I need to. But one bag.
What are we talking about? One bag, really? Okay. You got 4 days, one bag, right?
Never checking a bag. It's whatever I can bring on a plane. I've had the same suitcase carry-on for like 5 years.
Is it? All right, I gotta know because I geek out on gear. Is it like the traditional carry-on square, suitcase?
Yeah, your standard. Like I bought it at like a TJ Maxx.
Yeah. Now, have you ever seen North Face? They're infamous for their base camp duffels. They're all different sizes.
I'm not actually.
Oh my God. You gotta check that out. I got them on my new Amazon influencer page. So I don't know. Yeah, there's been a lot going on. So you know I need to catch up. So I have Amazon banners throughout my site now, and they're all connected to my influencer page. So Amazon has a feature where you can create an influencer page, and it's all I can just sit there and gear that I buy or gear that I have bought. I can tag it, and now it's like in like Scott's Live the Fuel page. So it's all gear that I recommend or have purchased.
Nice.
Pretty fun. And
Right.
I mean, plus, since I pay for this entire show and I've never monetized it or taken on ads, I'm hoping that one day a few pennies from people clicking on those banners and whenever they buy on Amazon, I'll get like a tiny, tiny percentage of that. That's the whole point of the whole Amazon thing. It's not to push Amazon product, but let's be real. Everybody shops on Amazon. But North Face Base Camp duffels, I've had the same medium-sized black duffel bag, which is carry-on capable, since 2007. So that's 11 years. I used that to travel in and out of hotels when we were leaving fire camps and stuff like that from the firefighting days, everything, man. Like, because it's a duffel bag with backpack straps.
Nice. Wow.
So I was like, oh, and it's like practically it's not officially waterproof, but it's pretty bomber. So granted, you don't have that nice form-fitted square, traditional luggage look. But if you're filling it with 4 days of gear, it'll probably be, it'll probably fill out its shape.
Right.
Yeah.
Right on.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's your travel tips. Go traditional, TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
Or be a weirdo like me and be obsessed with North Face Base Camp duffels. FYI, I do have one of every size. So that doesn't really reinforce minimalism, but I have used all of them for 10 years. So
right on. Yeah, no, I just think so like minimalism came on the scenes, a few years back. There's a few brands out there, right? Lifestyle brands where they started to really promote the idea. And I was like in my early 20s. And at that time I was like so far from acquiring a minimalist, minimizing my life. I was acquiring things.
I think
like
most 20-year-olds didn't, really, right? I don't
know. Yeah. And so I didn't really get serious about it until like maybe 3 years ago. And now I like find it's like a weekly practice to find ways on a macro and micro daily level to simplify and like streamline my life. And the main purpose is like we're really distracted, like like constantly, right? And there's also like, we live in this economy and culture that's, it's like there's trillions of dollars being spent to like influence us to like think we need and buy more shit. So
I agree.
like the odds are against us mostly, right? Like if you really think about like, the people that are thinking about, minimizing down, it's like, it's not that common. Most people are buying more stuff. And so for me, it's like, I don't know, I feel more empowered because I'm like, yeah, like all of my stuff fits in a 400 square foot studio apartment now in Austin. And like with room to spare, and it's like, it feels great because it's like cleaner. Like moving here was like a small pod that was like, tiny and like affordable to move around. And
Before pods existed.
yeah. So anyway, I look at it on like macro and micro levels. And what I mean by micro is just like, how can I minimize my day so I'm more focused and more effective and I'm not like distracted? And macro is more like, yeah, in like a year, how can I create more freedom for myself financially and just like my space and all of that. So
I love it because I think we did dig into it a little bit. Are we tracing back to like your first or second time coming on the show? I can't remember. But
we might have touched on it a little bit. I know it wasn't at the forefront of the discussion, but I know I mentioned it. Yeah.
Well, that's why we go open format, because you never know what we're going to talk about, because there's so many powerful things we can share, because you and I have interesting similarities. But I'm a huge supporter of minimalism, and I struggled when I left the firefighting days, because that quick summary back on that, it was, I left corporate space. Like I grew up as a farm kid, so I didn't have a lot, and then worked my butt up, like in my 20s, a year really into the 20s. So okay, I chased the salary and stuff. And I had a nice loft apartment. It was only like a 600 square foot loft apartment. It wasn't big, so I didn't have a lot of stuff. But what I started to realize was, if I bought stuff, I wanted it to last. I wanted it to be quality stuff, quality gear. So and then when it became to the firefighting thing, I was like, crap, man. So I'd gotten to the point where I had like a foosball table and stuff like in a townhouse, and I'm like, why do I have all this stuff? And it was still less than most people. But then I crammed everything I had into a 1999 Subaru Outback wagon to go do the firefighting thing. So it forced me to get rid of a lot of stuff. And that's when I bought those North Face base camp duffels. That's the backstory on that, by the way. I said, okay, I'm going to have one of every size. And then I had one mountaineering pack. So I said, so basically it's eight bags, a small, a medium, a large, extra large duffel, and then the mountaineering pack. I said, okay, if I can't fit everything in these bags, it goes.
Nice.
And then I threw the duffels in the station wagon, put my mountain bike and road bike on the roof, threw one pair of skis in the car, and then the mountaineering pack held my rock climbing gear and my camping gear. And then the only reason why I had those duffel bags is because like one duffel bag had all my road cycling and mountain biking gear. One duffel bag had my skiing gear, like my winter stuff. So it was all seasonal sport functionality gear. If I actually looked at my personal stuff that's not athletic related, I probably had one duffel bag of just personal clothing. If I wasn't athletic, I probably could have been super lean and mean. So I don't know if this really falls in line with what we're talking about, because I was definitely more minimal than most, but I still had gear and stuff, but it was functional and it had a purpose. So I'm interested to see where you want to go with that.
Yeah, it's like, I think if anybody's in an assessment phase of their life, on many levels, it's like, there's a lot of research out there that shows like once you start to kind of advance through certain developmental stages, right? And I mean, look, I coach people, so I always have this sort of filtered lens of talking about concepts and ideas and things like that through, someone's developmental path. But like once we start taking care of like ourselves and like our emotional health and like our language and our relationships, like then we usually will look at our environment and be like, oh my God, this place is a mess, or like I have shit that I don't need. And maybe somebody else could use it. Like when I moved to Texas, I was like, I realized like, yeah, through moving a few apartments, I had like extra clothes, but I was still hanging on to like seriously, like unconsciously, clearly hanging on to like old
Oh, like
things.
a shirt you haven't worn in a year or two?
Yeah, like different things, and maybe they're attached to memories, or maybe they're, whatever. So I kind of like assessed it. It was really interesting to me because it was like, I feel like I'm holding on to a lot of this stuff similar to like I hold on to like old
So
mindset, old
real quick,
things.
the assessment, did you go through a formal assessment? Was this like a program that you learned, or?
No, when I say assessment, meaning just like, assessment when like if you're in transition, right? You're
Mhm.
looking to jump career, or you're looking to start your own business, or you're looking to move, or,
Relocate, yeah.
whatever it is, right? So there's usually kind of an assessment phase, and our, across the board, right? Like when we're transitioning in life, like we're kind of assessing consciously or unconsciously all of the stuff in our life.
Hmm.
And
I agree.
yeah, so minimalism too, like to back up is like the way I look at it is whether people think they're doing it or not, like they kind of are, right? Because there's an assessment piece to it where it's like some people might value more friendships over less, and that's fine. It's not about like it's not like an argument around values and what's right or wrong or anything like that. But typically, if our lives are simplified, like we're able to like take care of ourselves a little bit more and do things that are meaningful to us, right? And so to me, it's like simplifying just everything in our life, simplifying the way we communicate. It's like that for me, that's minimalism. It's less about just getting rid of all your shit. But it's definitely like how can I set up structure in my life to simplify things so that I have more freedom and I can spend time, hanging out with people that I want to hang out with and whatever. So
I like this because, like, for example, and this isn't not a brag, it's actually almost a weird thing that just started happening in the past couple of years, but I go to a lot of conferences and stuff, and a lot of people have chosen to remove social media from their life, or they take these social media breaks, they take these extremes. And I'm like, I
yeah,
got to the point where I don't go through these extremes. Like, I
uh,
put myself through a lot of extremes. I'm an adrenaline junkie, but I was like, okay, I don't need to unplug. I did on my winter ski vacation. I unplugged for that week, just to prove a point. Like I can unplug, not a big deal. But a little trick that I learned was if people connect with me legitimately, I don't want to like reject them. I believe that leaders should be approachable. So they either like my speaker page, they like my Littlefield page, or if we made a proper connection, I will accept that friendship in the Facebook world. Let's use that as a social media. But you have a choice. You can accept the friendship and then you can unfollow them. It's not rude. It's just I've made a good connection, but we haven't made enough of a connection for you to really like fill up my news feed with a bunch of crap,
yeah, right.
right? So
Yeah,
what I started doing was unfollowing people. I'm still friends.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So interesting, right? People think that's weird. I'm like, no.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. That's really interesting that you bring that up too, because now that I'm thinking about it, wow. So this really leaks over into everything too. It's like I cut my friends on Facebook in half, like from 1,800 to 900 over the last like 6 months.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think I was just on a roll of like just getting rid of, kind of like you said, yeah, if we spend a lot of our time looking at a news feed all day long, it's like,
Well, and that's a hack I just shared, right? You don't actually have to unfriend them. I can just unfollow them. So
right,
they're still in my network. We're still
right,
friends.
right,
So if something big happens, they post an event or something like that, that'll probably still come in. But they will not be in my news feed. Like
right.
if you're for some reason you keep posting crap about your kids, I'm not I'm not a father figure. Don't plan on having ever kids ever. I'm fixed. My fiance are not committed. So I was
Mm,
like, I don't need to see babies.
yeah,
So if you're posting that all the time, unfollow.
right,
I
right.
have a choice on the news feed that I want to be influenced by. So that's been my new hack for this year is, okay, you know what? I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to unfriend you. And then like, why'd you unfriend me? Okay, fine. You can stay in my network. I have nothing against you. I just don't need to see you in my news feed. So I'm going to unfollow you. That's it. So that's what I did a lot.
Mm,
So,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, there's two examples, right? I think it goes back to the assessment you're talking about. Is once you've assessed that, are these people just that big of a drain where, man, I just need to remove you from my network? Like you are just
yeah,
you're bad juju.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what happened in your situation. Like, was this a matter of?
Just clean, like I hadn't talked to him since college. It's like I don't see any points in
Yeah,
having
if they don't
fun.
at least reach out to you once in a while, because I'm literally at, I don't know, I'm 4,500, 4,600 friends now. Dude, there's a 5,000 cap. So
But
I have that option where if there's somebody in my network that I haven't heard from, like every once in a while, I purposely try and reach out to people that I haven't heard from in a while. It's become like a thing over the past 2, 3 years. I'll just pick 5 people. Like, you know what? I actually do care about that person. You know, we haven't seen each other in a long time. They've moved away. Let's just check in on them. And because I don't know their phone number, I don't have their address, and that's where I think a lot of people have forgotten the power of just human communication. Um, Granted, we're coming off of the minimalism theme here, but I just thought I'd bring that up because I think people have lost the power of communication, like human to human, and I really feel that social media can be used in a positive way that way. Like,
sure,
reach out and check in on somebody
right?
if
Yeah,
they're worth your time.
right. Yeah.
um, so what did you do after you did you hear anything from any of them? I'm
No,
intrigued. You
no,
leaned them out, no response.
no.
Huh?
Yeah, I think it was like literally so old, like just years, like when Facebook began, like so old. It's like it's not big deal, you know. It's like because I grew up with Facebook, like obviously, like I was in ninth grade or whatever year it was when it came out. No, I was like junior in high school, but anyway, you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, it became more public, more
it was
accessible.
it was a thing, yeah. So, but yeah, like the assessment stuff, like I don't know. I think this topic. So for me, like for example, I'm not really in. I'm still in transition, I guess, so to speak. But at the end of the day, like, because when I hit you up about like connecting today, saying I'm excited, it's like
Yeah.
I'm still even looking uh, for some bigger moves here coming up soon. Where, like for example, like if I'm ever gonna live international for a few months at a time, like I feel like right now is really a really solid window to do that. Like I'm not tied down. I'm single. I'm 30. I've got clients coming in now for my business, and it's a lot of it's still only online. And it's like, okay, great. Like,
You're
I,
doing it right. You're making a scalable business online that is not rooted by brick and mortar.
yeah, and well, yeah. So that's a great idea, right? Where it's like minimalize your friction to successful business.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but well, I've also just, man, I like really want to bring this home where it's like, I thought like coaching business had to be complicated too, and like had to have all these like bells and whistles, and like at the end of the day, like I'm getting clients because I'm just having conversations, and it's all about relationships, and it's super simple, and now I'm having a lot of success. So it's anyway, these like I'm potentially going to do Thailand for 3 months, 3 or 4 months, starting in July.
Sweet.
Yeah, huge, expat community. And
Are you
although,
taking your brand there? Like, you're going to be doing coaching there?
well, I mean, I can do coaching wherever I want. Like, again, my clients, it's, a lot of it's, it's online
Again,
conversation.
the biggest hack for you will be, and while I'm talking, so let me do some screen sharing for our video watchers because we're doing for our listeners, guys, by the way, this will be short sessions. So we'll be coming up on like a 30-minute cutoff. We're experimenting. We're trying something new. We're actually going minimalist with these podcast episodes right now to try this out with Travis. So
Which I love, to be honest, I fully believe in like shorter podcasts. I think I love short, quick, to the point content when it comes to podcasts.
yeah. So here's the cool thing. I love where we're going with this because we're tying this back into business, but also growth in your lifestyle. Because the biggest challenge I realized was if I want to open this up to international exposure, which I have with the show, the biggest struggle for me has just actually been adapting the time zones. That's all. So I think that's the only thing that you're going to have to worry about. As long as you get a laptop and Wi-Fi, you just have to figure out where your clients are at and adapt your time zone. So while you're in Thailand, it's like, oh, what's the hourly difference where you're at,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Now, are you using a scheduling system yet?
Yeah.
Okay. See, like I use Acuity. So Acuity, when they go, I've unlocked certain windows when they're allowed to record, like you've used. So it's like, okay. And then it'll tell them what that's equivalent to in their time zone, and they can decide if they want to book during that window or not. I think I've only had to do 2 special situations where one was in the UK, and recently I had on a famous doctor from South Africa. So it was really hard getting him. We had to really work for almost a year to get him locked in, but he was worth it. So, um, yeah, you get those situations. Like you probably have a special client where if they're in a really unique time zone, it's like you might have to be up at 10 o'clock at night to talk to them, right?
Right. Yeah, totally.
But if you're a great coach and they're a great client, I think that'd be worth the sacrifice.
Yeah, I agree.
So you've done a lot with the new brand, man. I want to make sure that we squeeze this in here. I actually, going back to minimalism, I like the restructuring of the content. I actually feel like you have leaned this out a little bit. Would you actually agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So was this just kind of an epiphany or from the last few coachings and the retreats you've done or
Yeah. Feedback from clients and, I think just becoming even more and more aware of
Hmm.
what I want to be bringing to a marketplace and what I want to be teaching and getting even like more in tune with my own process and stuff like that. So
I
it's
like this here, the first two subjects here, discipline and removal. And because we're talking about removal right now, right? Aren't we talking about that when it comes to
yeah,
minimalism? It's like
yeah,
removing excess from your life. It doesn't always
yeah.
have to be just possessions. It could
No,
be
it's
people.
just anything that drains your energy. See, that's one thing that I really amped up is like we talked about this too. It's like I was kind of struggling with sleep and I was trying to get everything in line, like travel. Like when I travel, it just kind of messes things up. And so, but
Oh
like,
yeah, well, yeah, it's because you had to reschedule that time because you had so much happening at once. I remember that we had to reschedule,
yeah,
and I
well,
think I even
across the
threw,
time zones and just,
I think I threw a coaching back at you. Like I hope you didn't take offense. I'm just like, oh, bro. I was like, I get it. It's cool. I'm excited for you, but like, don't sacrifice your health.
yeah. So, anything that drains your energy, it's like taking a look at that. And I know it can be hard sometimes, but I think, yeah, being really meticulous with anything that drains your energy is like, minimize it out, like just get rid of it. And it's super.
So in your coachings, if you could share for our audience, actually, since we're shortening this up, I want to make sure people got some good stuff out of this.
Yeah.
And you're doing great, by the way. But you've had retreats and these development sessions, and you partner with people from different circles of influence. And obviously, we're going with this minimalism theme. And you've restructured your brand and your site. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to Travis Roznos, ROZNOS.com. His method is called The Drop. And but anyway, the point here is that from your coachings and from the drop, and as you grow this brand and you take this international and be able to work from anywhere, what do you feel like the top? I love things in threes. So what do you think of the top three things that you keep hearing? Is it on your subject of drain, minimalism and draining you energy? Do you feel it's people? I'm guessing people's got to be one of the top three, but I want to hear from you. People, scheduling. Like, what do you got? What do you think?
Uh, so what exactly the three
Like,
things?
what are the top three things you keep hearing or what you keep seeing in your sessions with your clients and the people you coach? Is there a common thread? I know that everybody's got differences in lifestyles
Yeah.
and families, but is there a common theme, do you think? Top three things do you think that people could be focusing on or at least working on?
Yeah. So um, I kind of have this like theory, and it's sort of backed by some things, research, but like a lack of discipline, or like more like when life seems like overwhelming, or like when people are unclear and there's kind of like chaos going on.
Okay.
It's less about like willpower and like just changing like the behavior, right? It's usually like it's a lack of where we're energetically not being okay with kind of like closing off to resistance in some way. And that can be resistance in many levels. It can be like relationships or at work or like just your internal compass. So I think a lot of what I hear a lot is drained energy. Like people are like men are overwhelmed. Like the men that I'm serving, they're like 25 to 35. They have a few years in corporate and they're kind of like, it's already crazy. Or some like,
It's very common. I went through it.
or more like high performing, like even like CEOs of some of their own businesses where they're like, I'm we're doing really well and all is going well, but I feel the weight is starting to get really heavy, and they don't have like basically they just think discipline comes down to like, oh, like making a new declaration or a new commitment. But in the reality, it has to like, you have to, I think you should take yourself out of your environment, whether that's like get into nature or like have a structured container to like learn every ways in which you take care of yourself from like the first minute you get up to throughout the day. And obviously breathing and all the stuff that I have in the toolbox is a part of that. But like the removal aspect and getting really in tune with how we're like ignoring our full embodied awareness, like the feeling sensations of our experience. Like I think people underestimate like the power that comes with, okay, if I can feel truly what's going on and be with that, whatever that is in my day, I feel more vital. I'm just more alive. That's basically proven. Most people don't really, I mean, most transformation or most personal transformation is like strategies. It's quick and, it's like the quick fix. It's, it's cognitive, and that's why most transformation actually doesn't stick. So those are the themes. It's like there's overwhelm and there's a lot of effort maybe put into making change, but it doesn't stick simply because they're missing part of the whole body that requires a stronger look at things outside of cognitive, like thinking their way out of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I think people underestimate the cognitive impact, their mindset. We talk a lot about mindset on this show. Our other regular co-host, Dr. Megan Cam, the sports psychologist, a lot of stuff is tied back to our cognitive processes. So I think we allow ourselves so much influence that we all get overwhelmed. Whether, again, back to people, your job, school, relationships. These are all these domains of our life. And when they become unbalanced, it just rocks your psyche.
Yeah, totally. So I'm a huge proponent minimalism, minimizing.
I'm digging it, man. Like I said, to back this up, I have a 3,000 square foot garage out back. And as soon as I moved in with my fiance, it's where her family's construction company was founded. There was like 30 years of stuff in there because they don't build anything anymore. They're a construction management company now. They've done very well for themselves. This is just an old building from her great grandparents' time. And all I could do for the past 2 years was gut it.
Right.
I'm like, find a way to get rid of stuff. And next thing you know, I just got a whole big truck because I couldn't sell it. I couldn't get rid of it. I'm like, that's it. It's all gone. Multiple truckloads, and I gutted the whole building. And now I have a lease that I designed, and I will only allow, the only thing that's allowed to come into that building is somebody's nice car they want to just store there.
Nice.
No accessories, nothing. I'm like, you're allowed a trickle charger to keep your battery nice and your cool old car. That's it.
Right. Love it. Right on.
So I'm carrying minimalism into my real estate contracts or whatever that is, garage contracts. But because I love walking in there and just seeing big open space.
Right on.
It's like a Zen thing for me. I don't know.
Cool.
So listen, this is to stick to our format. We've got to bring this episode to a close. So I love the theme. I think people need to be reminded about minimalism more. This is an exciting episode. You gave us some good tips here at the end, but like we always close our shows out, is there any kind of final message to sum all this up that you'd like to leave behind? So people they forget we hit a lot on minimalism, but one final message to take them away where it's like, listen, guys, this is like a big theme you want to go with. This is your final words.
Yeah, well, I think if people are in overwhelm in their life, if there's busyness in their life, I think trying to change certain behaviors or things like that, it's not, you could just start like kind of cutting the fat on like what drains your energy on a more simple level, right? And start with like, are you drinking a glass of water right when you get up in the morning? Like really, really simple things. And I do like a whole nother other topic is like trimming the relationships that don't serve you. Like, how many people out there, like, and I've been there too, hang out with people that like don't really serve their field, like don't serve their space, but we hang on to those people. And so like, that's a whole nother thing, but take a look at who you're hanging out with and like ensure you're like hanging out with people that add value to your life. I think that's really, really crucial.
So people who bring value rather than drain the value.
Yeah, for sure. But like easier said than done. Easier said than done. Most people typically will hang on to relationships that are not serving them. Yeah.
Well, listen, since we're doing these shorter episodes, let's tie these together. Would you like that to be the topic of our next episode? We can dig deeper into that.
Sure, let's do it.
There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's another powerful podcast episode, shortened up, hitting hard on minimalism with Travis Roznos. Check him out at travisroznos.com. And we've just given you a hint. The very next episode we release with Travis, our regular co-host, we're going to dig deeper into this whole minimalism thing and relationships, because this is hard. I've gone through it. Travis has gone through it. Other people right now, you could be going through this, trying to figure out what people to keep in your life, what people to remove, so that'll help ensure your growth. Because there's a famous quote out there: you are the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I live by it. I work by it. I believe in it. And Travis just reminded you about the drain versus the value factor. So thanks for tuning in to another Live the Fuel podcast show. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, you too can live the fuel. Talk to you guys again soon. Shutting down. Stand by.